Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. After the first couple days of the week, we're totally slowing down with Reforged spoilers. Just kidding. Today we have the old Mardu Khan, a really interesting manifest engine, and more. Enjoy the hype. We're only a couple days away from the full set being spoiled. Yeah, I kind of want to pee a little. We'll start today off with our first artifact spoiler. Scroll of the Masters is 2 colorless mana for an artifact. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a lore counter on Scroll of the Masters. You can pay 3 colorless and tap it to have target creature you control get +1/+1 until end of turn for each lore counter on the scroll. Lore-wise, this card is amazing. The scroll is basically a permanent version of Prowess. Clearly where the Jeskai learned the secrets of their ways. It's pretty sweet, and we'll definitely be touching on that when we do the Fate Reforged lore video. It's hype. Anyways, the scroll's okay. It'll be decent with the right build. The problem is that the commitment to activation is a lot, especially in decks that can easily pump out non-creature spells quickly. It might end up being a win more type of card, but if you get a non-creature heavy limited deck, this could break the grind in the mid to late game. Pumping a creature for a realistic +4/+4 or +5/+5 every turn has its benefits, like pummeling the opponent, for example. I've heard that's good. Coogans construct is 4 colorless mana for a 4/5 artifact creature construct. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice a permanent that's 1 or more colors. This card is legitimately great. It can stand toe-to-toe with Siege Rhino and live through Stoke the Flames, which is always nice. The best part is that it's an artifact. It does hurt a little that you have to sacrifice a permanent that's 1 or more colors on entry to the battlefield, but the upside is that it isn't part of the cost, so if you don't have any colored permanents, you get it for just 4 mana, and that's what makes it good. Even if you have to sacrifice something, get rid of your smallest creature. This will undoubtedly be a strict upgrade. Construct is amazing for limited play at the very, very least. One last thing about the construct, that flavor text referencing Zendikar, the Eldrazi, and Nahiri. The lore hype is real, everyone. Get psyched. Jeskai Barricade is 2 mana for a 0/4 wall with Defender and Flash. When it enters the battlefield, you may return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. Mark my words, this will be one of the most undervalued cards in the set. The Barricade is crazy good. The Flash really puts it over the top. You can do some cheeky things mid-combat if you want. If you just want another enter the battlefield trigger, fine, this is a cheap way to do that. Personally, I think this card is going straight into Doran the Siege Tower, but that's just me. This is a bomb unlimited, protects your creatures, and is a pretty big blocker for 2 mana. Constructed playable? I don't know. This is functionally a protection spell against removal, so we'll see. Mastery of the Unseen is 2 mana for an enchantment. Whenever a permanent you control is turned face up, you gain 1 life for each creature you control. You can also pay 3 colorless and 1 white to manifest the top card of your library. All aboard the Manifest/Morph Ownage train. This card is great for limited and gives the Manifest sub-theme a real powerhouse, not to mention its gross synergy with Trail of Mystery. This could also see play in Commander. We're talking about a cheap enchantment that creates board advantage and gives you life. Sounds pretty sweet to me. I know some players who are already building Bant token morph decks, and this just puts it over the top. Expect to see decks with this card in an ad FNM, whether it be draft or constructed. Mastery of the Unseen is, it's good at what it does. Just Mono White Devotion's making a comeback. Finally, a counter we can work with. Neutralizing Blast is 2 mana for an instant, counter target multicolored spell. This card says a few things. First, Dragon's Atark here will definitely be multicolor themed, obviously. Second, this gets sideboard play forever in any blue deck playing against Abzan. Most of their best cards are multicolored. This is almost like playing Gainsay against Mono Blue Devotion. Neutralizing Blast is a great sideboard constructed counterspell. Cheap, efficient, hits a lot of stuff, and you know, it's pretty, just look at it. It's like so shiny. Yeah, more counters. Die faster, Siege Rhino. What? Alesha, who smiles at death. That's a creepy name. Who smiles at death? That's who ran the Mardu before this guy. What is going on with this clan? Seriously, how do they stay together? Legitimately insane clan. Nuts. Anyways, she's 3 mana for a 3/2 legendary creature human warrior with First Strike. Whenever she attacks, you may pay 2 hybrid white and black mana. If you do, return target creature card with power 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. Never thought I'd say this, but dang, Dragon's Maze rotated too early. This card paired with Master of Cruelties is just plain mean. Beyond that, she has amazing synergy with a lot of cards in Commander and Standard. In Commander, bring back something like Fulminator Mage to get double value. In Standard, something like Hornet Queen, Courser of Crufix, Eidolon of Blossoms. Just listen. The list pretty much goes on and on as long as you can find a shelf for this card. If all else fails, obviously just stick this into a Mardu aggro shell and bring back whatever creature got blocked by your opponent's Courser last turn. When it comes down to it, this con is a creature generating machine for a really cheap cost and a pretty easy trigger. Having First Strike makes this hilariously efficient for what it does. Lastly, in the coming weeks, we're going to be talking about the new format Tiny Leaders. This fits well there. But again, that's for a few weeks in the future. For right now, good card, brings back way too many cards to count. Ambush Crow-Tick is 6 mana for a 5/5 insect with trample. When it enters the battlefield, return another creature you control to its owner's hand. That Siege Rhino didn't stand a chance to RIP. Anyways, this is the classic green fatty for draft. If you don't have any other creatures, you don't have to return anything, so that's nice. Trample is also a good addition. It's a fine card for what it is, no complaints here. It'll find its way into green limited strategies for sure. A 5/5 is pretty big after all. Temur Sabertooth is 2 colorless and 2 green for a 4/3 cat. You can pay 1 colorless and 1 green to return another creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, the Sabertooth gains indestructible until end of turn. First thing, the synergy with Manifest is unreal here. You can take a look at what you manifested, and if it's a non-creature card or something you need in your hand, just bring it back. Really happy to see a card like this. Past that, 4 mana for a 4/3 with upside? Yes. Limited playable for sure, and if there ends up being some kind of Manifest constructed deck, I would say that this has a non-zero chance of seeing play. Remember, Manifest is new. We have no idea what that kind of deck will really need. This cat though, in some ways, it's exactly what a Manifest player wants, just saying. We've only got a few days left before the whole set is spoiled. I think we've seen almost as much as we can take, to be perfectly honest. After today's Mardu Khan, the Manifest Enabler, a new counter against Obzan, and a bunch of other stuff, I'm almost wiped out. The set is such high quality, it's ridiculous. Let me know your favorite cards of today's spoilers in the comments and we'll talk about it. Remember to subscribe for the latest and most reliable Fate Reforged spoiler information you could ever need. This is the Manosaurus, I'm Wedge, thanks for watching, we'll see you next time. Wow.